Hi, this is Dave Jensen, and in this tutorial we'll be going over the InVivo diagnostic setup. So the Anatomage models that come in with a DICOM file, should you order them, are really helpful to identify where you want to put teeth and your space needs. So we're going to upload our InVivo file, our Anatomage file, and we're going to select the jaws that we want to work with. We can remove the bones around each of the dentition and then focus on one specific set of dentition. So in this case, we're going to be looking at a maxillary arch. So I'm going to select the teeth I want to get out of the way. First, these are primary teeth that we want to essentially have exfoliate in time in order to allow the adult dentition to come in place. So we're going to go into our teeth and movement module here and then go to the end position. This is going to be able to allow us to move these teeth freeform, just as you would like in a clin check when you're modifying a treatment plan, and move them in all three dimensions. So you can see that each of these arrows have a tip and a turn and extrusion and intrusion function to them. It's not as versatile as a ClinCheck, but it is pretty useful diagnostically. These measurements aren't perfect because these are rendered versions of the teeth that are within bone. So you can probably account on up to about a 0.5 millimeter accuracy. In this case, I'm taking each tooth and putting them in place. I'm keeping adjacent primary dentition in place as well to kind of make sure that I'm on the right occlusal plane. Uh, Here you can see we've got some teeth that need some rotations. I'm going to work with them. Now, knowing that I haven't necessarily been putting this with the adjacent or the occluding arch, I'm still just kind of getting the teeth in the general position where we need them in order for me to be able to then apply the lower arch to it and then look at our arch forms and the coordination of them. So that's what I'll do here. I'll look at the lower arch, and when looking at the lower, you can use some of these icons at the top left here to give you a better indication of which direction you're looking at. So you can see I've got a little bit of an overjet issue there, so I'm going to take care of that on the right side. One thing that is useful that you can also do in this is you can select multiple teeth to move at the same time. So I'm going to hit Control and click both of these, and I can then extrude them both at the same time. We can also do rotational movements with them. Uh, Even though it's centered on one tooth, we can rotate the whole complex together. So this is helpful if you've got multiple teeth that really need to be coming down at the same time or moving or rotating. So again, I left some primary dentition in there so I could keep my occlusal plane fairly equilibrated to what our previous plane was. So you can see on the right side here, I've got a pretty significant space issue. So now I'm looking at coordinating the arches. So when you're looking at some of these movements, they're not too practical in the sense that if these teeth are erupting spontaneously in the positions where I'm extruding them, they're probably not going to be able to move laterally, 6 and 7 millimeters. But it does kind of help you with the directionality of where things will be erupting, um, given that you can extract teeth prior to those eruptions happening and let a passive eruption pattern take you in the direction of that final position. So again, here I'm just kind of doing a little bit of preemptive beauty bends in the finishing. So I've got a nice looking arch form here. It does fit over the lower arch as well. And now if you go to the start function here and then press play, you'll be able to see where the teeth were and where they will be going. So again, here's the initial placement of each of the teeth before deciduous but before our primary dentition is erupted and exfoliated, and then we can play this in forward and reverse. Again, this will kind of show the eruption pattern that we'll be looking for, and should any extractions need to be made early, you can use those to your advantage in order to obtain a more favorable eruption pattern. So again, this is really good on the mixed dentition, enable you to be able to predict an eruption pattern and then plan your biomechanics appropriately. If you're looking for any other helpful videos in orthodontic setup, feel free to look at my other videos on this channel. Thank you.